All right, Maya Egelin, thank you for that. Joining me now, we have Patrick Tucker, technology editor for Defense One. Sorry, that was really quick. I hope you're okay getting that water down. So anyway, Patrick, what do you think these drone sightings are? Are they all fixed-wing aircraft, or are they a mix of that and drones?
It's probably a mix of that and drones. What we know is that a lot of the sightings near airports particularly seem to follow airplane flight paths. So that suggests that people were identifying airplanes as drones. And we also know with probably some degree of confidence that this probably isn't a Chinese, Russian, Iranian, or foreign military threat. And we know that not just because officials have said so publicly, but also I've been having a couple of calls on background with Northcom and NORAD officials. And if this was believed to be a foreign military threat, then they would have expensive, very high-performance intelligence assets that they could bring to bear to answer the question of what this is, and also high-performance military platforms to potentially dispatch them. So the fact that the FBI and DHS have the lead on that, that suggests that there is high confidence in the analysis that this is something that is not foreign or military in nature, and has just pointed out of these 5,000 tips, only 100 of them have warranted further investigation. Right now, the FBI is talking to the drone manufacturers to see what they can figure out, but they're also very limited in terms of what they can do because of regulations that apply to the way the United States government uses things like signals, drone jamming, and other technologies on U.S. soil. So there's a lot of things still unanswered, but the bigger questions about whether this constitutes a threat, we have some confidence that it probably is not a foreign military actor.
That kind of threat, no. But let me ask you, is there greater surveillance and greater ability to detect and bring down potentially anyone who's flying a drone nefariously around an airport? And I ask that because we were just breaking the story about an arrest of two men. There's a third still on the run from Boston police. They were operating a drone that was endangering Logan Airport there last night. They've been arrested. Again, one man is still on the run. But the fact that they had somebody stationed to monitor the skies around the airport, is that typical? Is that going on across the country?
Well, right now, we're dealing with the sightings that exist mostly in the mid-Atlantic on the East Coast. Apparently, there's been some new sightings in Maryland. But because this phenomenon is so public, there's a very good chance that more sightings will happen. There'll be more leads, and fewer of them will turn out to be anything. There are technical capabilities to bring down drones, of course. There are three, really. You can shoot them out of the sky with a laser or a missile, or if it's in range, a gun. You can deploy a lot of signals to jam the connection between the drone and the operator, or potentially you can hijack the signal and then steer the drone where you want. The problem, as officials have pointed out, is that there are just so many regulations that deal with how you use particularly those two other capabilities on U.S. soil. The FCC, for instance, has rules and laws that pertain to how you attempt to jam a drone. Essentially, you can't, because you're going to interrupt cellular signals that people rely on. So one of the things that they pointed out, officials, is that a slight change in regulations and policy that would allow them to do more intelligence and particularly more activities to try and bring these drones down, that would help answer questions about what they are in the future. But for right now, they're sort of limited by U.S. law.
Look, I can think of another concern, as evidenced by President-elect Trump suggesting in a social media post this weekend that officials should shoot down these drones. But wouldn't that pose a safety concern for people on the ground? I mean, these can be big.
Yeah, I think that lots of folks on the coast of New Jersey firing into the air to dispatch what they perceive to be drones, many of which might actually be low-flying aircraft, probably not a good strategy here, probably not in the best interests of public safety. But it does speak to sort of the frustration that a lot of people are having about questions. What are these things? Where do they come from? The military has said that, particularly Picatinny and Earl Weapons Station has said, we can take these things out, but we're not able to locate the operators because we're very limited by what we can do on U.S. soil. So I think that that reaction speaks to a lot of the public frustration and the lack of answers. But before we start shooting at them, maybe I think it's time to address some policy to allow local law enforcement investigatory agencies to collect the intel they need on these things.
Which you have very articulately ironed out for us. So I appreciate all that. Patrick Tucker, good to see you. Thanks.